What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. Welcome back to a new transfer update. And according to media, there is finally an update. And the update is we have two main targets for January. One attacker and one defender. Defender being Araujo. It's quote-unquote edging closer. And the attacker is Kolo Muani, who is the priority right now. And we are leading the race. However, for both these players, because of the contracts, the situations at the club, other clubs' interest in them as well, wages, transfer fees, even if the media comes out saying it's off, it's completely on, you cannot say it's done until they're actually at J Medical for both players because of the strange circumstances surrounding those players, you know? So that's what we're going to talk about. Also, there's an update on Douglas Luiz and a weird one on Danilo, which we'll get into it. But before we do that, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, bell notification, turn on as well, because there might be some breaking news regarding any of those two potential top targets. And yeah, let's get into it and let's talk about Kolo Muani and Araujo as well. Okay, so let's first start talking about Araujo and then get into what is on the screen. And what is on the screen is actually insane. The news is that he's, according to Padula, always been the main target. And he's open and actually basically agreeing to joining us. Barca are still not sure what to do. They're waiting after the Supercopa. I think they just played yesterday, beating Bilbao 2-0, 1-0, probably 2-0. From what I can remember. So it's nothing for this week, obviously. It's initial loan. However, both the player and Juve are open to make it a long-term deal. Again, it all depends on Barcelona, the fee, all those things. On the player itself, I've said it in the past, I'm not the biggest fan because I don't know what... I think he's a good defender, but he has a bozo moment in him from what I've seen where it's... And maybe it's just pure coincidence that the few times I watched him play, he always had a moment where I'm like, ugh, what the hell is that? Now, he's not a Calafiori type of player. On the ball, he's decent on the ball, but he's not somebody who can, you can play him higher up the pitch, and can slide him in. I don't see that in him. I can remember Luis Enrique talking about him some time ago, saying that he is a player that triggers the teams to press because he's not really good at that as well. Right now, if you look at the links, Tomori, him, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, Mota or Giuntoli, they're going for pace and some strength, somebody who can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time, basically, because we want to play a bit higher and maybe take some risk. And if we lose possession, you have somebody who can, deal with that, so on. So not ball playing center back, whatever, in my opinion. But the insane thing is what is on the screen. The injuries are actually... they're unbelievable. Like, they're actually hallucinating. Like, look at the games he missed. He missed since the season 18-19, he missed 94 games. 94 games. That's basically 2 seasons and a half worth of games in the league. I don't know which league. Almost 2 seasons and a half. You know what I mean? That's insane. Like, that's actually insane. Keep in mind, we're bringing him in because we have injuries. That's why you're bringing him in. And that's his injury record. Like it actually insane. Actually, it starts off okay. 3-0, 21, 17, 23, 8, 22. And I don't even care what the injuries are at this point. He's injury prone. He is massively injury prone. And we, for some reason, are an injury prone squad. I don't see, and he is the main target right now, I don't see the idea. I'm not sure what I'm missing. Forget about, do you like the player, individually, quality wise, fine, you can like him. But if you see that and you're looking at our center back options and you're bringing him in because we have long-term injuries, it makes absolutely no sense in that regard. You're bringing in a player who's probably not going to be available for much of the time. That That is insane. And to top it off, on massive wages, probably around 5-6 million euros, and you're gonna pay 40-50 million for him as well. Like, for me, that's actually madness. Actually madness. When I thought I knew it was bad, but when I saw that, I was like, I couldn't even imagine it being this bad. This is actually insane. He's missing half a season. He's missing half a season. Every single season, basically. Since 2021, he's missing half the season in the league. Only the 23-24 season. That's not good. That's not what we actually need. Like, we need fit players. That's the entire point. We need players who are ready and available. And if you bring him in on that money and that wage, the idea is you're going to bench one of Kalulu or Gatti, because you're not going to pay 40 million euros or whatever, 50 million euros to bench the player. With in mind, in the back of your mind, Bremer is coming back. For me, I don't think this is like a good idea. Actually, I think it's a very bad idea. I don't see how you go from that injury record with our injury record to keeping him fit. For me, I don't see it. I cannot put into words how much I'm confused at this moment in time. I'm actually confused. But let me know in the comments what you think about the players, and especially about that injury record, because that's Ramsey type. Not even Ramsey was probably reaching those type of levels, bar that last season. So let me know in the comments. Let's move on to the second target, and that's Kolo Muani, because I think everybody's confirming now what Pedula already broke days ago. So I'm going to go with Pedula's news, saying that he is the guy. He and Zirkzee. Not Fulkrug and not whatever you saw out there. Di Marzio came out saying, they're pushing for it right now. They're in talks with his agent, so on, so on. The difficulty right here is not PSG, because PSG are open to a loan deal, but they need to find a replacement. I don't think that will be an issue as well. The difficulty right here is Tottenham, and I'm talking about the deal right now, because Tottenham are also open for a loan deal, because PSG are open for a loan deal. However, according to English sources, they are ready to actually put money on the table more, pay the wages completely, and add an obligation or an option into it, something Juve is not really willing to do at this moment in time, So that's that. However, according to Italian sources, we're still leading the race. It's just trying to convince Kolo Muani, who's open to the idea, but like I said, he has different options, so he is looking at the best solution for his career as well. On the player, overpaid in wages, because he's on high wages, overpaid in transfer fees, but that's not his fault. I said it many times. That's the club's fault, and especially PSG in this case, because they paid a ridiculous amount for him. He comes across like a clumsy player at times. Technically, I think he's a good player. I think he's a decent striker. I think he can score goals. I think he has all the abilities to score goals. However, it's not coming off for him at PSG, which, again, is that a knock? I don't. Probably, with the type of, like, how dominant they are in the league. If you're not really that guy, you don't come across like a potential top player. I'm gonna say his time in the Bundesliga was insane. His finishings were insane. Even at PSG, the goals he has scored are from good quality, and probably a lot of chances Vlahovic will be missing at this moment in time. So I don't know where this is leading to. It's just that we are in the race, and we are apparently leading that race, even though it can switch really quickly, and he can go to Tottenham, and the news can be he's close to Tottenham, and it can switch back to he's close to Juve. That's the situation right now. But him and Araujo are the main targets at this moment in time. So let me know, would you take him on loan, 6-month loan, or even with an option? But right now, the news is just a 6-month loan is okay for PSG. Well, now let's move on to Douglas Luiz, because that news is weird, because right now we have Nottingham Forest being interested in him, Fulham, Man City, like it's all over the place at this moment in time. You have Italian sources saying he's not leaving because Motta doesn't want to let him go, and he wants to say to prove his word, basically. I'm not going to change my stand. If you move him on right now, that is a ridiculous bad look on Motta and Giuntoli, especially Giuntoli. If you make future deals happen, that is ridiculous, because he was viewed as a top player in the Premier League. A lot of clubs wanted him. You bring him in, You do not play him because he's injured. I get it, but you move him on after he didn't really got the time to prove anyone wrong. That is not a good sign towards bringing in players in the future, in my opinion. I don't think we should be moving him on, because if these Premier League clubs are interested, they will be interested at the end of the season, and you're not going to lose much money on that as well. There's a lot to play for this season. He's not using Fajoli. You're going to move out Douglas Luiz. I don't know what good is that going to do for us long term. Are you going to play with Locatelli, McKennie, my, like, you're gonna need him at one point, and he's gonna get more playing time if he stays, and only time will tell if he actually shows up and be useful to this squad. But the more you look at that deal, the more it feels like Monchi said, Aston Villa. It feels like FFP, they needed help. We needed help to get some cash in with Junior and Barnechea, and we made that deal happen to make it look good on the books. That's how it's feeling right now. However, if you put that out there for that level of player, caliber of player, viewed by many teams, then I think you're setting a precedent you don't want to set, being Giuntoli. So I would say stick with him until the end of the season, especially, and try to work it out. Like, use him, because even though it's not working out, he's not a scrub. Like, he's not an average player with average abilities and so on. So, I mean, it's on Mota to get him going. Also on him as well, to get it going. And right now he's fit, or he's injury free right now, which is also insane because he had no injuries at Aston Villa. So I don't know what to say. Is that on him? Is, like, I cannot say it's on the players at this moment in time, because it's happening too much at this club for too long amount of time, with players coming injury free from other clubs and being injured with us. So I cannot really say that as well. That being said, I will not moving on. But if an offer comes in and it's close, the Giuntoli will think about it. He will probably think about it. I just don't think. I think it's too soon to give up. That's how I'm looking at it right now. But let me know in the comments as well. And then to wrap it up, Danilo. In a nutshell, we are trying to set him free because that's what he wants. Napoli are not talking to us. They are not going to pay anything, and Danilo wants to get paid to leave this club. Now, if Giuntoli does that, it's a massive. We have done that for so long, pay off players to leave. Mota doesn't like him. He doesn't like Mota. Fair. That's how football works. You have a contract until the end of the season. If I'm Giuntoli, you're staying. I don't care that Mota does not like you. You're staying and you're not playing. Forget about the captain BS. He's never been the captain. Like, it's all BS. Look at the captain. Like, look at the precedent, with him being captain. Like, it's all manufactured. It's all put out there on social media by the club every single day. Remember that period? Only a handful of people right now are buying that crap. He wants to leave, and perfectly fine. You can leave. You end the contract and you walk. We're letting you walk on a free 6 months in beforehand. Ask Napoli to pay. You're going to get paid. You're not losing money. You're going to get paid by Napoli. Probably less, but you're going to get paid. If Giuntoli ends up paying him, he's an idiot. He's absolutely an idiot if he ends up paying Danilo to go to Napoli. That is insane. He wants to leave. Mota doesn't like him. Fine. Leave. Everybody goes his own way. You don't have a long-term contract. You only have 6 months left. If I were Giuntoli, you're staying. I'm not paying you. If you want to walk, fine. Even that, I want a transfer fee. I will push Napoli to hand you something, But in worst case scenario, okay, it becomes toxic. He doesn't want to stay here. Mota doesn't want to use him. They don't like each other. You walk, but we're not going to pay you. That's as simple as that. If he ends up getting paid by us to leave, for me, that's actually that's insane. I don't care if it's €1. That's insane. It's about the principle. We've done it so many times in the past. Enough is enough. That's it. But it probably will happening, knowing how we operate the last couple of seasons. But let me know in the comments as well about that Danilo situation in general. What do you think about the targets? Like the video, subscribe, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow again. Ciao.